Good evening. My name is Carolan Carey. I'm the psychic medium of Sarasota, Florida. I am the show host of In the Psychic Flow on Goldilocks Productions. You can watch all of our shows on Rumble and on BitChute and X Twitter. So this is after my show tonight. I just finished. I thought I would get caught up. I tried to do this before about a week ago and load it, and I guess I did something wrong because I can't find it. So I'm redoing my April global predictions. I have been hit and miss with these. I apologize. I had some things interfering, but now I am back at it. So I'm relatively new at this. If you have not seen me before, I've been doing it about a year now. I do it on my show in the Psychic Flow about once a month. Do readings, crystal ball readings. So this, I'm trying to get a global perspective, and let's see what we get tonight. Previous ones, I had been seeing um, Japan very brightly in here, and I was wondering if maybe that's because they just recently had a huge, I think a 7.6 earthquake. I think that was Japan. Now, as long as we're in, I'm looking at that area. What I'm seeing is a lot of very Myanmar is another one. Teddy, stop now, come on. Sorry, my dogs are misbehaving. um there was I see a lot uh in that area of destruction, bad storms, a lot of flooding. That was terrible, some of those buildings coming down. So let's see what's going on here. So I have a lot in that. I also feel that there's conflict with that area. With like politically, there is some conflict. Maybe not with us, but they're entering into a kind of a slippery slope there with their neighbors, Japan, Korea, China, all of these countries, probably Taiwan as well. A lot of difficulty there. Um, India is coming up. I think that is because our President Trump, has met with India, is doing a trade deal or something. I see I think um, the Prime Minister, the leader of India, has already visited the White House. I think that some kind of deal was struck, and I think it's about business. So that could be why that's coming up again. I would like to see what's going on with the Ukraine and Russia. I get Russia primarily here. Ukraine doesn't seem to be as cooperative as hoped. So I think it's mainly Trump and President Trump, President Putin discussing this. And I have a feeling that it Ukraine will have no choice but to go along with this. If they don't, this is going to be a very difficult, sticky situation. It's going to take a little bit longer than anticipated. But the dealing is mainly now with Russia. Our mineral rights will come from Russia, I think. I don't think Ukraine is, I'm sorry to say this, but if they do not cooperate in some kind of peace treaty, I'm afraid they're going to get obliterated. I hope that is not the case. But I feel like mass destruction is so pointless. Um, Gaza is getting pounded. It'll be nothing but rubble. It won't be inhabitable. I know that they're trying to bring in all these little, like, metal houses, temporary housing. It's not going to work, I don't think. I just see it as like a wasteland. I see a lot of that. I see Ukraine that way. I see Gaza like that. The Houthis, this is we've just had strikes on them because of the shipping. They're causing problems with the shipping, attacking our our vessels, our cargo. They're really going to be, I see, obliterated, and it's just gone. They're gone. And that's what Syria there. Yeah. So you see, like, I feel like a lot of countries, maybe because we have a new president, maybe some of the statements he's made or some of the things he's trying to do, even though he's trying to put an end to people attacking us and trying to reach some kind of peace negotiations with people. Of various countries, and I feel like a lot of them, they would be ready to come to the table. I think it's going to take a little bit more arm twisting, but in the long run, I think you're going to see some progress, some positive progress made. Let me leave it like that. Um, there is an attempt. Now, there's been a few attempts, assassination attempts. Very guarded now. They are very guarded. His security is very good around him, considering how out in the open he is. Their security is excellent. I don't think it'll be that kind of like. I think there'll be more. I think there was an explosion threat. I think you're going to see more of that. I don't think they can get close enough to him for another shooting incident. Let's put it that way. A lot is coming out about that, and the very similarities are being brought up now between the JFK assassination and others, of course, but primarily JFK, because he was the president, and President Trump's the assassination attempts against him. There's a correlation there, and they're digging. I think there's more to come out about this. Obviously, they're investigating. You are going to get an answer, and you are going to get an answer on these things. There's big money behind. There's big money. I guess I don't have to tell you this, but that's what I'm saying. There's big money behind these attempts, just like in the JFK, which is going to come out. Has been brought up in Congress, but I think it was is it Mr. Morley was one of the people that testified on his experience and his knowledge, along with Oliver Stone and Mr. Ingenio. They all feel there's there was definitely a conspiracy, more than one shooter. They are presenting this to Congress, open a new complete reorganization and review of everything that has transpired in the last 62 years. I think all of them feel that it was the CIA and big money. I feel big money backing that one too, and I feel the same thing with Trump. A lot of things are going to come out, unfortunately, kind of disheartening. Well, it's all very disheartening, but I feel it's disheartening for the American people to realize that they can't trust some of these agencies at all. So I do feel there will be a change for the better, but it's going to be difficult for a lot of people to handle. So moving on with that. As a side note, there's an excellent, I feel, since I do this work, I have had JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, President Eisenhower, Commander-in-Chief, he reminds me, come to me in a meeting, where they all sat at a meeting table. Abe Lincoln, President Kennedy, Bobby B. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and President Eisenhower. That's who was there. And discussing what's going on in the world. So that I thought was very interesting. There was, I've talked briefly to them in spirit, but I recommend a channeling by someone else, a medium called Robert George. It's called Conversations with JFK. If you look that up, there's an excellent transcript of Robert George in trance channeling JFK and being asked questions, and one of which was about his assassination. Did he know who killed him? And he said yes, and he names who it is, and he says Mossad. So I had looked that up, and that is a palpable theory. I just suggest you look at it. That was his interpretation. I mean, it was his assassination. Maybe he would know, right? So anyway, I put that out there for you to keep in the back of your mind. Let's see. And I tried to research. I put a blog out on how I thought, what I found before the JFK file release, what I found circulating. And I actually believe that theory. But then I hear some other things. So I'm not, that's it. You get one step ahead and one step backwards with that thing. But hopefully there's going to be a more thorough investigation. Let's see what happens. But I do see like a library online, JFK files, Martin Luther King files, Robert Kennedy files, Malcolm X maybe, Epstein, some other things, 2020 election. These are things that are documentation and videos, witness stuff is going to be on there. So you'll be able to go each link and look for yourself. And I think that's how we're going to find this. I don't think there's going to be like a definite, this is who did it, this is who did it. I think you're going to have to interpret a lot of this for yourself. People have got their own theories, of course. So I'm just going to put that out there. That's how, but you will be able to access it and see it. A lot of people are kind of disappointed, I would say, by the JFK file drop at this point, because it's like bits and pieces. Nothing's really organized into sections. Hopefully that will be done. I noticed they are asking for people to transcribe for them. So, they're backlogged on this. It was a very quick, archives had to dump this, and as per executive order, and you would think after 60 years they would have this organized, but apparently not. So there you go. What else is coming up? We've had some very wicked weather through the United States, pretty much hit everywhere. I had family visiting this last week here from New Jersey. They flew out of Philadelphia. They had to fly back Sunday instead of Monday. And they had a very long wait, a lot of delays. They finally got home like 9:30 at night. They started out at 11:30 a.m. So it was really wicked. I hope everyone is safe from that. I do see more storms today, more things going on today, a lot of tornado energy. It's like everything is spiraling everywhere. I don't think there's a place that the energy is not raising a dust storm anywhere. I don't think any place is actually really calm. I think there's a lot of high energy going on, a lot of things to be examined, a lot of, back and forth, like Congress and the Senate and the House, and a lot of things going back and forth. But I do feel President Trump being very successful. He's like a bulldozer. And I do feel they can cry all they want, fight all they want, but the majority voted, and that's it. So they can try, but they're going to keep trying to trip them up. I wanted to say also, I wanted to look at that. I hate to stay on politics all the time, but it's so prevalent right now. There's so much chaos about it. And by the way, that's not accidental. The chaos is like intentional. Look over here, look over here. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at this. And things are getting done and getting done and getting done. And it's a controlled chaos, I want to say, on purpose. Good or bad, that's how it is. A lot more on that to come, but I feel more wins for President Trump than loses. Really dramatic. Some of the revelations that are coming out are going to be quite traumatic for people. So So, yeah, I feel that I'm seeing a lot of battles against like weather storms, um, the climate, weather storms, and then also I see storms in in government, of course, with all of Mr. Musk and his team working on the things that they're finding is amazing, amazing, and there's more to come, more revelation to come. It's kind of very shocking. I mean, I'm shocked, and I can see what's coming, and I'm shocked. Um, a lot of benefits are coming for health wise. I wanted to get off that political thing for a minute. A lot of health wise change is coming up. A lot of exposure on things, particularly the vax, on the initiative behind the mNRA or mRNA. It's a lot of initiative behind that, and this is starting to be revealed that it was developed as a cure for cancer, as a cancer vaccine. So a variant of that. So anyway, there's more of that to come out. There's more with the heart. I keep seeing people are showing like a plastic heart has been implanted in someone. This is a revolutionary idea. I don't see that. I know it happened, but I see more patching, like a almost a skin mesh, like a mesh made out of skin of tissue as a repair. I know they'd rather replace it than try to repair it, but I do see different cardiovascular surgeries, negating the need for transplant. I do see more work on the spinal cord. You're going to see more stuff uh, being invented to help people regain some of their power of standing and walking. And of course, speaking of the Kennedys, of Robert Kennedy Jr., you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of policy changes on food, which will be really good, whether you like it or not. There are some things that, for instance, our food is totally different than what is sold in Europe. Like our bread, they eat bread over there every day. They don't gain any weight because our bread has a lot of sugar in it. Theirs does not. There's a lot of things that they are not allowed in Europe that are allowed here and are derogatory for our health. So you're going to see a lot of chemicals being removed and things changing. And it's going to be a busy 4 years. If not, I see busy into the next 10 years. I mean, this is quote, the Great Awakening or the newness, a new era, which I think will still be building over the next 4 or 6 years, at least maybe 10. The immigrant situation is much more controlled. People are very upset about this. I get this in a way. There's a big change because there's going to be not just the United States having secure borders, but everywhere, because this is a mass migration from everywhere. You open that door, everybody's coming in, and we have no controls. I mean, we have children that we can't account for. This is crazy. So everything has to come to a halt. And I see this happening like as a joint venture with many countries. Something I was telling my family this weekend, they were talking about going to Ireland again. And I was like, hell no. No. I said, have you seen what's going on in the UK? They're like, what? I'm like, no, thanks, but no. UK, Portugal, Spain, England, Ireland. I don't know what's going on in Scotland. And it's crazy. They're being overrun by people who are not of the best caliber, or murderers and rapists, and so something has to be done. So whether you agree with that or not, this is what's going to happen, and countries are meeting in a group and coming to like a standard for each country. They're going to adopt some kind of policy. No exceptions. I'm getting like no exceptions. Because people need to be, instead of running away from their country, they need to rebuild their countries. This is what's going to change. Sorry. Let's also... A lot of changes in government spending. Some people have called it Nasara, right? Channeled from Saint Germain, the Great Awakening, where people are not going to have to pay for this or that and get all kinds of abundance. Well, we are getting some of that. I never thought I would see it, but we are getting some of that, which is, we're gonna get money back. Apparently, every citizen will get money back from what they've uncovered. So I don't know why people are complaining about what is being uncovered that was fraudulent and wasteful. This is going to be very helpful for people. I've mentioned in other readings quite a few, maybe a year ago, the difference between low income and middle class is going to be barely a difference. They're going to be together. So this is, I feel, is a good thing. I don't think you're going to see as much poverty. You're going to see people, the money is going to be directed in a it's so unbelievable how money has been directed and wasted, where it could really, I think there's going to be a big difference in places that really need the help. And shame on these countries for not helping their people. It's terrible. I feel like the spotlight's going to be on them. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a spotlight on them. Like, you better clean up your mess because we're not taking your people. Make it work. So that's the feeling that I get. And I love the free education. That is also a bonus. There'll be a website per President Trump. Everything you ever wanted to learn about is going to be on these websites for free, that you can educate yourself. And you can become an electrician. You can become, I don't know, a professor, a handyman, a nurse. So everything's going to be accessible to everyone. I think that is a wonderful and remarkable abundance. It's wonderful. So I think that's very good. I do see a lot of more teaching video like that, more people communicating globally together on different subjects. I think that's great. So when will the end of all this? I think it'll lessen, the chaos will lessen a bit in the next couple of years until we get this. People are going to be complaining, but personally, I feel it's all for the better. So that's what I see coming. Great strides in medicine, in health, in food, in activity, in environment. I think a lot of things are coming. This is a richness, a wealth for the American people and for people globally, because we're going to adopt some of their things that they're doing to benefit their people, and they're going to adopt some of the things that we're doing to benefit our people. So I think you see on a global scale, not just for us, but for everybody. And I think that's good. But there is going to be some, blasts before, destruction in some countries before this is resolved. It's going to be almost a nail biter. Okay, so that's what I have. Just remember, let's be supportive. Let's look at the bright side and stop attacking. Stop burning things down. Let's get together and admit your folly. That's my words of advice. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is what I get. I hope it is helpful to you. My website is Carolan, Carey, CarolanCarey.com. If you'd like to book a reading with me, I'm a spirit medium and a psychic. So a reading with me could be a combination of both those things or one or the other. And yes, you can ask questions. And my readings are about 40 minutes to 45 minutes to almost an hour, depending on the situation. And my prices and availability is on my website. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Good night.